All right. So Kim is with MIS, a Salas O'Brien company. It's one of the largest envelope engineering companies in the United States. She is a window expert. She knows the good stuff. Oh my God, these accreditations here. Here we go. MIS is a FGIA, AA, MA, accredited lab test agency in Daytona Beach. We test windows. She also has the Fenestration's master. Come on, guys. This is Kim.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Thank you so much, Paul, for putting this together, and I hope everybody's having a great time. So my name is Kim, and I'm with Moisture Intrusion Solutions, Salas O'Brien company. We just integrated. Salas O'Brien is the largest engineering firm in the United States. Moisture Intrusion Solutions are window experts. So what we do is prevent window water from going into buildings, and we're window experts. So we do have, I don't need the slides. Maybe I do. So when it comes to what we do after the hurricane, there's two phases to what we do. After the hurricane, we have been involved in every hurricane of testing windows to win insurance claims for the clients, where the insurance companies pay for their windows. They pay for their sliding glass doors. What people don't realize is windows put the claim over the top. Nobody thinks about windows, right? You go after a hurricane, the roof damage, but who looks at windows? And they don't. And what happens is these insurance companies are coming in and they're going, oh no, that was pre-existing. No, it wasn't. Because depending upon how the wind goes, the eye of the storm, right? That yada, yada, the list goes on. What happens? The window leaks. So my job is to do an observation. I then hand it over to the forensic team. Give a proposal. You want to go forward. So what Bobby was saying is, so the FGIA is the Fenestration Alliance Industry Glazing Company, okay? So what that is the window masters of the world. So they set all the guidelines for how it's to be tested, how it's to be installed. There's 166 masters in the world. We have 4 on our payroll. That is what separates us. What people don't realize is an engineer is not going to hold water in court. But because of the testing and what we provide, all the forensics. So when it comes to hurricane, we do window testing all over the United States. If there's a hurricane in Louisiana and we're called out, we're in Louisiana. Flip it around. Right now, what's happening, especially in the state of Florida, is these insurance companies are realizing that windows should be tested. If you hold the window the wrong way and then you install it, that window can leak. A window can get damaged in transportation. Windows are windows, right? So what's happening is they want testing done. So when the windows are installed, that's the other part of what we do. We test those windows to make sure that they were installed properly. What's a positive? Something happens down the road, you have documentation that, hey, those windows passed. Say you put windows in a building, 3 years later we get another major hurricane and you have window problem, you have documentation that those windows were fine. So now what happens? Insurance companies have to honor the claim. So we have been around a long time. We have amazing technicians of forensics. Our reports are 500 pages. And this is what I alluded to, but some people go, I don't like that team. All right, pick a team. But you take whatever team you want. We are like the 1972 Dolphins. We are undefeated. And that is what separates us in a courtroom, because we got the masters. Any questions, guys? I could keep talking, but I know I I got short time. And I'm trying not to talk my hands because Italians, we use our hands all the time. Yes.
Well, what would you do if the windows were damaged with the seals? Could you ever repair them? Is there any way to do that, or is it always replaced?
Okay, so I'm being asked if the seals, there was a problem with the seals, could you be replaced? So if we're talking after hurricane, so we're talking new install? Yeah. Okay, let's go new install. So we have the new install, and we come out, let's say you hire our team to come out and test. And when they test, that they see that there's a problem with the window, the way it was installed. So what happens is now that window has to be either they have to put a new window in, but they have to make good on it. Because remember something, once the windows are installed and you're spending all kinds of money, like I could tell you I was at a property, all right? So we provide the documentation so that if there's any problems, all our testing is forensic testing. It's scientific testing. That's the difference. So it will tell you if the window was installed properly to specification. The FGIA, so the Glazing Association, Window Association, they have made requirements that are robust for testing. And now, when these windows are being put in, everybody's pointing the finger if the windows leaked. We've got, I know of 7 projects in litigation now that they're having trouble with the windows, but Jack's pointing the pitch, the finger at Jim, and this one's doing this. And so now the insurance companies too, they're recognizing, look, you're putting these windows in, you're spending all this money, you want to make sure they're installed properly. That's your documentation. That's like your golden ticket to hold on to. It's like finally crossing your T's on your project, right? Anybody here, if you're a roofer, general contractor, whatever you are, you stamp your name on your projects, right? And everything you do. So you want to make sure, if you're going to do it, take it right down to where it has to go and make it right. And we also have a testing lab in Daytona Beach. So we test windows for Pella, for Anderson, and we do that as well. Anybody else?
Kim.
Oh, it has to be accredited lab. So that's important. It must be an accredited lab to hold water. So you can't take Mr. Bag of Donuts. It doesn't work.
Real quick, does everyone know the 2 hurricanes and mics are lovely, Irma and Ian, and if you had your property during Charlie, a lot of these properties have gone through 3 hurricanes in the last 19 years. So Kim, can you explain to everybody what the wind pressures have done to most of these windows if somebody lives in a property from 2004 on or 2016 on, what you're looking for on these windows? And I'm wondering if everybody knows that a lot of these windows from Marco Island all the way up to the Venice Beach area are compromised.
So a lot of them are. We've done a lot in Captiva, Sanibel, all across Florida. So when you test windows, you have to test against wind. They're not going to, insurance companies don't want to hear about water. They don't. So what you do is you test against a hurricane condition. So you test against, let's say, 100-mile-an-hour winds. You're testing now. What they do is they use water. So they do that test. Now, when they do that pressure test, normally if a window has, does this thing? Okay. Normally if a window, if it's broken, and what I mean by that is when I look at a window, I look for rattling. That means that the seal, okay? When you've got the rattle, that argon gas, right, that you don't have anything. So then you look for your ingested gaskets. You can get a sash rack, a rack that's sashed, that it can start from left and go down like that. So we're testing to see if from the amount of wind, the hurricane condition, did the water come in and break any of the seal and cause damage to the window. So when they get the report show all the testing that's done, the PSIs that are used, all the visuals, they have video, they have documentation. In the end, the report's about 500 pages. Yes. We do not, okay, so as far as repairs goes, we test on an insurance end. Let's go on the hurricane side. On the insurance end, what we do is we work with lawyers, public adjusters for their clients who are having problems with the insurance company getting their windows replaced and getting their sliding glass doors replaced. We also do roof testing after a hurricane. If someone can't get their roof, we have a test that can show exactly. And then, so what we do, that's right, on the insurance end is we say, okay, we went in, we did all the testing, we're an accredited lab, it stands up. If the insurance company says, you know what, we don't want to pay for these windows, this is crazy. This is where our 4 masters come into play, because they're going to go in court and they're going to kick their butt, and the client is going to get their windows, and they will get their sliding glass doors. That's a known fact. I stand behind it. The company is amazing. On the other end of it, on new construction side, GCs, and we're finding a lot of GCs are doing this now because they don't want the finger pointed at them. They're doing these projects. They want to make sure that who their window installer is, they installed them properly. So they want that documentation.
So real quick, anybody got any questions?
Yeah, we do the door testing. Yes, we do that as well. Yes, sir. Yes, everything goes depending upon if it's insurance. There's always, it's a rule, it's 5%. The insurance companies in a hurricane situation, a storm situation, 5% is always acceptable by the insurance companies for windows, for sliding glass doors. If it's brand new construction, we go in, I see what's involved. Is it storefronts? Are they curtain walls? And then I give a price. So both vary in price, but we do both commercial and residential. Yes, sir.
You sound pretty confident about them your experts going into court.
Yes.
What percentage would you say that they lose?
We don't.
That's-
Isn't that a nice percentage? I like that percentage myself. The question was, I'm sorry, I should have repeated it. The question was, what is the percentage of us losing in court? None. And that is the difference. What people don't understand, and I've been in construction 26 years. I did stucco. I worked for Drive It for a long time. So I know about all that hogwash. But what they do is they'll bring in an engineer, a threshold engineer. An engineer is not in my wheelhouse. Even though Salas O'Brien, engineers are good. I use them for flood testing. When I do elevated swimming pools, I have an engineer right there. Absolutely. But when we're talking windows and we're talking testing, you want an accredited lab and you want experts. It's really important, guys, and young ladies. I say this all the time. Being in the business a long time and dealing with GCs, applicators, and so forth, make sure your T's are crossed. Make sure your I's are dotted. It takes a second, and if you have any questions, please come and see me. I'm more than happy to help anyone out. So, enjoy the night.
I heard it said like this: when they do the testing, they are the voice for the building. The building has no voice unless someone comes in and tests it. And they don't say whether the building's bad or good. The building tells them if it's bad or good. So they don't make up things and try to, invent something. The building tells them what's going on.
Hey,